proud to be the official sponsor of the VFL. Let's make this a season to remember.
And we are back. You finally got a chance to do it. We are back, and we are now to break down the LSU Tigers, brought to you by none other than
Brokerage.
Bluestone Brokerage. Give yourself a little shout out for a minute.
We're awesome. Insurance, call us. That's all we can say. Everyone knows the jingles and stuff. It's all out there. Just give us a call.
Okay. It's pretty confident, and I'm into it. It's good.
Let's go.
By the way, thank you so much for hosting this whole
Oh, my greatest pleasure.
thing. It's unbelievable. Okay, let's jump right into Bluestone. This is a team that you have some vested interest in. So let's talk about it.
First thing, this is what they started the draft with. First overall, they had the 1-1. There was talk about Shook, there was talk about Zachy, all these other people. I think Roden shocked everybody. It's not a bad pick, but he shocked everybody and took Ellie Burnett.
Would you have done that?
No.
What would you have done?
I probably would have took Zachy or Shook based on if I was Roden, knowing that first and second round, whatever, however you would have did it, I probably would not have taken Burnett. Now, the reason why Burnett is a good pick and the reason why Zachy is a good pick is they play both sides. Which is funny because
Burnett's an elite defender.
Elite defender, and so is Zachy, which is funny, which is why people like scream about the fact when we get the Seagulls team later, but that Seagulls slotted so late in the draft, yeah, he might be the best quarterback, but he doesn't bring both sides.
Right.
And a league where there's only 7 players on the team or 8 players on the team, you got to figure out both sides.
Right.
And the fact that Burnett, Zachy are CB1s, they're cornerback ones, they can lock down the top.
And they're now the CB1s, right. You just said the most important thing. They will take out of the game the other team's best receiver.
Brings value over Siegel. Because Siegel, yeah, he might be the best quarterback offensively, but he doesn't bring it both ways. Shocking pick, but again, not a bad pick, because as we said, top of the draft.
But you know what?
We know who's going top 3. So he went 1 instead of 3.
The way Roden said it, whatever part of this draft, if I'm in the top 3, I'm happy.
Right.
And he ended up probably losing the draft in his head by getting number 1.
Right, because you could have got him a 3.
Exactly. But either way, he was the top 3 pick.
He followed up and made a trade with Siegel, and he took Katz.
Talk to me about Katz.
So Katz is awesome. Gamer of gamer.
Great guy also.
Great guy, gamer of gamer.
We're going to dub him as my new friend, Katz Katz.
Your new friend, Katz Katz.
Yes.
This tandem defensively, fantastic.
It's elite. It's elite.
Elite. We spoke about Momo's team of Shook and Momo. They have the personnel to do it. To go ahead and say, you know what, you're lining up Shook and Momo against us.
And it's a good,
here you go.
It's a good counter. Which two would you rather have, Shook Momo or Katz Bernhack?
Defensively,
overall.
well, Bernhack plays quarterback.
So
it's impossible. It's apples and oranges.
And get a guy like a shimmy at quarterback. Food for thought. Anyway,
it's tough because they have 2 weapons versus. This is 2 weapons versus 3 weapons.
It's 2 different games.
It's tough.
Game-changing players. Okay.
What I'm saying is that when you go defensively with these 2 guys, you look at Momo, you look at Shook, you say, come at us, we have it. Right? And then you have Sim in the back end.
So now let's talk about Sim for a minute. Sim last year was on a really bad team.
Yes, him and Jocelyn were really bad team. There were injuries.
It was just dysfunction for the start. I think you're going to see a resurgence of Sim Fuchs.
He dropped heavy in the draft.
Yeah, you know what? Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Because he was terrible last year.
But we know that he has line-to-line speed. But if he's going to be up here as the free safety or however they're going to play it as the top of the zone, he has line-to-line speed and he can cover it.
Since certain people have a build like Sim, he runs like a gazelle.
Yeah.
He's slender, he's athletic, and he's got great hands. So I could see him taking this defense. I think they're the best defense in the league, in my opinion.
The problem is going to be here.
And we'll find out. You're right. The line. I'm sorry. They don't have the best line in the league.
The best secondary.
They're the best secondary in the league.
That's what I think. I agree with that. They do probably have the best secondary in the league. The problem is that this might be a problem. Because you go against quarterbacks, not even any quarterback, you give them an extra second, anybody can get open, right? So, this is not a bad line.
But we don't know. Is Safdie he was Mr. Irrelevant in this draft?
Yeah, so we don't know.
Is he anything?
Last year was solid, but they didn't have a lineman, except for Khan, which we're going to talk about soon, till way late in this draft. And of these 2 guys, it's not a bad line, but we just came off a line with Azar and Shook. We came off a line with Jocelyn and Buka. These are the lines we're coming off of.
Yeah, but those teams didn't have a secondary like this, so give and take here and there.
Okay, but I'm just saying is that this is the weak link of their defense.
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to get sacked?
If you had to choose...
Can they have between, 7 games? Can they have 10 sacks combined?
I don't think so.
No. Can they have 5?
Maybe.
Maybe. What's the sky here, right? What's the ceiling?
Just for context, last year, the Super Bowl team had Morty Sultan who had 10 alone.
Correct.
Had Gluck at over 10 alone.
Yeah. I'm saying, I wonder if these guys can have 10 combined.
I understand your question.
Right.
That's what I'm saying for context. So they're definitely not going to apply the pressure. They're going to need the secondary to be elite.
Correct.
Because
even the best corners can hold for 8 seconds.
True.
Can't do it. Right? So they're going to need these guys.
Listen, I think we're not giving enough credit to Alalo. I
He's
think
a good player.
Alalo is a lot better than you're giving him credit to. The
No,
one
he's a
question
good
is,
player. Last year, Alalo was in the Niners. It was him and Shua Danny. They had a good line, but Alalo is the featured guy here. Last year, he was the
right,
second.
Shua was featured last year.
Shua was featured. He was the second.
So
He's
Alalo's-
the featured line.
So he's got to take a step up for sure.
He's got to be. He's got to be great. He's got to be great.
Okay, yeah, and then obviously there's Rodin's play.
Yeah.
Rodin's going to play on both sides of the ball over here. I think he's a really good third complementary receiver on any team. The question is, where will he be utilized on defense? Is he going to be able to cover guys of the speed of the guys that we saw?
Yeah.
I think he's good for the third receiver. I think he's good on that slot.
He's pretty good. Is he up to par with the other third receivers in the league? I'm not sure he is.
I think he's okay
But
there.
they have Cream. They have Victor Batty Cream. They have guys to mix and match.
Talk to me about Khan for a minute.
I will, but I don't know if Rodin will end up this season playing both sides. I think he's the captain. He wants to play both
So
sides.
who's the potential to take over? Cream?
Cream could go out there, I think, on defense, or Cream will go here, and Alalo will come in to play tight end. It's interesting. Khan, the guy's an animal.
He's a mauler.
He's probably, I mean, Fonz is great. Some of these guys are great. He's probably the only true offensive lineman in this draft.
Wow.
Fonz is great. Fonz can block. This guy will get out here.
Where does Nussbaum play?
He's probably a tight end. But this guy, you want to run the ball? No problem. He's up here. He'll block up here.
He's an animal.
Right? You want to run a screen for this guy or Sim? Right? Here, a little bubble screen. He Khan up here.
So Khan really helps the short game.
Yeah, 100%. He'll be up here and setting a block. He's not just here pass protecting. He can run block, which means there's not a lot of running in this league, but you can get a bubble screen to Sim, and you'll have Khan up here.
So that's a coveted type of player.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's the real lineman. He's not gonna be able to play defensive side of the ball, so he's you know.
But and a guy like that makes it better for a guy like Rodin, because if you're eliminating one guy completely,
Correct.
it allows him
but
to play
he
both
went
sides.
very high in his draft, which if you look at a draft of the world, the reason why this is so weak compared to
It's because they
is
took
because
Khan.
he went in a spot where right after Jocelyn and some could goal, and some of these two-way linemen, he went.
So
now,
essentially-
handicaps here.
They're going to need Khan to be so good at his craft to make up for the weakness that
Yes.
is easy to do. I got it, understood.
That's the idea. Offensively, Sim is great. Kotz is great. Bernak's great. They have the pieces. Rodin as a third.
But again,
receiver is
every
good.
team's going to have a few studs because the draft was loaded.
Right.
So, like, the question is, are the complementary guys going to be good enough? I think Cream is an underrated player.
Yeah, but really, I like to see Cream on this side of the ball. I like to see Cream here. But the problem is, with these guys, can one of them play here? No, you need a lot on the line. Can Safdie play tight end?
So I think that's what's going to
You
happen.
know,
I think.
Cream on here would be better. He's much better defensive.
So you know
than
what? I think you know what. Now that we're talking it out, Cream probably does end up over here.
then it handicaps-
Safdie ends up being as a tight end.
Then you basically don't. I don't know what
But
Safdie
wait,
is.
I'll
But
tell you what it
if he's
is.
a lineman, you don't really have a tight end. You're
Okay, you know
playing
what?
relying on these guys.
Fine,
too
you
much.
know what? But if you're having a guy like Khan, who could be that big blocker, and you have a guy like Safdie who could also be a blocker, then maybe they're a short game type team, and maybe they're going to just really bleed you to death and really give you paper cuts until it hurts. And that'll be their identity. And obviously, if a guy can break loose, a guy like Kotz, a guy like Sim, and they'll always be able to have that
Yeah,
downfield pass.
but Sim is a burner. He's speeding fast.
I get it.
You don't want to just give. You don't want to be Debo Samuel for
But
you.
we're making
for just
like,
taking
but we're making like these guys are zeros. We don't know. I mean,
No, but you need a tight end. You need to have a tight end in this league. It's the security blanket. Drop it off. You look at the teams that win; they always have a tight end you can drop it
Hey,
off.
listen, bottom line is-
Match Novoselic, just give him the ball 10 yards.
Funny, if Mr. Irrelevant ends up being relevant and he's a decent tight end,
This is a question mark.
this
It's
team
a
is
question
a
mark. This team is great. And Ben Safdie. It's funny how we're putting so much pressure on the Mr. Irrelevant. But if this guy Ben Safdie
Well-
can be a legitimate player,
He didn't put pressure on himself. Rodin put pressure on him. Why? By taking Khan.
Correct.
So to me, the question is really it comes down to Khan. If Khan is elite at what he does, he can mask some issues over here. If he's not as elite as you're saying he is, there's going to be a lot of problems on a
but
weekly
even if
basis.
he's elite and the defense is struggling a little bit to get pressure, and therefore they're giving up some points, they need to score. They need to score.
But like you said, if Kotz is as dynamic as we're saying he is, which he is, if Sim is the burner and is going to take the top off like he does. And Roden's just Roden. Go over the middle, make your gadget plays, do your crossing routes, whatever you want to do. And Bernhack's good enough, and we're not giving enough credit for Bernhack. He's an athlete, and he can create some time for himself, giving a guy like Sim the ability to get open, like you said. Listen, they're going to score. The question is he going to be consistent?
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because you talk about football a lot of times. They say build through the trenches and then build out. I think this team built out into the trenches because we say their defensive line, when up to the part of the league, is not where we want it to be. Offensively, the tight end situation is not where they want it to be. Big key factor, obviously. But they basically built out into Bernhack and Kotz and Sim, and they built in and said, hey, we'll figure out the line later. Will it work? I don't know. My grade for this team, I don't love it because I do think that this is so important. It's so important to have a line. Good defensive line makes every corner look good. It makes picks. It makes quarterbacks make bad decisions. Good offensive line play and tight end is so important for the quarterback. To me, this team is a maybe fringe playoff team. They made a trade in this draft which didn't help them. To me, this is a C-.
Okay, so I'm not as down on...
Maybe a C+. Maybe.
I'm not as down on this team as you are. I think Alalo is better than you're giving him credit for. I think Cream will be a little more impactful than you're giving him credit for. And you're not giving enough credit to Kotz, Sim, and I think you're completely underselling Roden's abilities altogether. And I think he's going to be good. Again, that being said, I'm not on this, they're a Super Bowl contender type team. However, I think they're a little better than a... Listen, I'm between a B- and a C+. I think I'm just going to go B-, not to be different than you, because I think they're going to be a little more dynamic than you're giving them credit for. I think Bernhack, who actually led the league last year in completion percentage, had a down year.
But it's funny because talking about him leading percentage, who did he play with last year? He had Simcha Gold here.
Yeah, Yoni also is.
That was the big thing. He had Simcha Gold here. I'm rolling him in trouble. Simcha Gold right here. Simcha Gold right here.
I mean, I watched the games. He was rolling out of the pocket. Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm saying even out of the pocket, Simcha Gold, security blanket. Get me just. I'm in trouble.
Yeah, but I think these receivers can do that for him.
It could be, but Simcha Gold was right here. He doesn't really have that. Khan's not going to be that. If Cream or Safety could do it, okay.
Yeah, Cream can do it.
But they're not Simcha Gold.
And they're not. Listen, you don't need these guys to be burners. You need these guys to be steady hands.
No, the receivers I'm fine with, but you need these guys to be.
I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, you need them to be steady hands.
If Cream is steady hands, then I think they're a pretty solid team.
Okay.
And that's your C+ and a B-.
It's funny because I think we see a little bit different than this team, and that's why there's two of us.
Exactly. Bluestone Brokerage. This is your squad, so I think you're praying that my grade is actually the true grade.
Praying it's better.
Exactly.